When you decide that the things you're passionate about are actually worth pursuing, thinking about more, taking seriously, and you start to take action, it's easy to be overwhelmed, it really is. But I can tell you from me being overthinking, working for hours and hours at home, never knowing how is it gonna really work out, like when is the day where I feel like I actually made it or it's worth pursuing further. I was like that, and now there's this massive milestone for me of having my first couple sales, and it's a lot of time in between the idea and the passion when it started, because it started as a child for me, until now that I'm in a physical shop. So I want to let you know, I went through my own personal hell, and I think a lot of other people do as well. Especially if you're spiritual, you probably experience a lot of stuff, a lot of things. You've seen things, and there comes a point in our maturity in our lives where we like, you know what, I just don't have the energy anymore to put this mask on, pretend like I'm someone else. It makes you feel empty. It makes you feel like what am I doing even? And for me, like with my spiritual development and everything, it went beyond just like money and making money, and because I can try to study for something that gives me a lot of income and I'll do that and that's it. But that's just not like, that's not me. And I want to encourage other people that it is possible for you to make money being yourself. It is absolutely possible. The problem is you think you can sit down, make a perfect plan, and that's it. You just need a perfect plan and then you start, because the starting day is somewhere in the future, right? Sometimes you can't force it. Sometimes you can't rush it. Sometimes there's a little bit of thinking you do need to do, right? But we don't want to be stuck in those mentalities, because for me, there were other things I needed to change. I'm going to tell you the real things that was standing in my way of actually having my dreams come to a reality. So the first thing, the most important thing, and we can't gloss over this, and you need to stay because we need to talk about these things. It's not going to be super long though. So the first thing was not believing in myself. Now this is a tricky one because it sounds cliche. It sounds like love yourself, everything is going to be fine when you love yourself. Not so fast. When we compare ourselves, because that's what we do. We have to compare ourselves. We are wired that way. We feel like we analyze and we have the reasons and the answers to why we are not popular or rich or in a position somebody else is in. That is what we believe, but in truth, in reality, for me, I'm giving you my own personal example, I had to learn how to talk. Period. No, I had to learn how to talk to strangers. I had to learn how to be a little bit less introverted. But also, I do accept my introversion, and at the same time, I'm just self-aware enough to realize that if you're an introvert who has a face like this, when you are neutral, you need to realize that a little bit of a more open, positive attitude, using my hands, not having them just hidden, for example. This being open, that is the key. That was actually the only thing that stood in my way. So I don't know if I was teasing you with many reasons, but that is the main reason. That is the main reason. And what's behind it is more of the problem. Because these things are actually quite simple. What the hard thing is to really check in with yourself and to see, why do I not believe in myself? Why do I think I'm gonna bother other people? Why do I really think they're not interested in what I want to do? Sometimes somebody doesn't have the same style. I'm doing fashion, right? So if not everybody dresses like me, this is like a home outfit, but the things I make are quite interesting. If you're interested, look at my Instagram. I use like stuff like snake bones and things like that. So that's not for everybody, right? Not everybody is a goth queen, goth king, or whatever else, streetwear enthusiast. Not everybody is like that, right? But there was this woman. I was working for someone else. This woman comes in, and I started wearing more of my own creations. I had modeled for her one time before. And this day she saw my clothes and she was like, what is that? What are you wearing? So I told her, this is my own design. So she had this event going on again. So I volunteered to model again. But this time she said, you make your own clothes. Like, can you make more? Can you just, like, why don't, because I told her I'm planning to sell it. I'm planning to do it professionally, like properly. She's like, why don't you just show your own creations, like model your own creations, why not, you know? And I'm like, yeah, that's, a fashion show is usually so damn expensive, so that's something I could have never imagined. So my state of mind was, I was taking this seriously. I said to myself, I'm at the root of me, of my authentic self. I am a creative person. I am creatively minded. So at the end of the day, I will only be happy if I make money doing what I love. So I didn't know how to get there yet, but I seeked out opportunities. So I went on this course. I think I'm going to mention it soon. Anyways, I went on this course and it just led up to my mindset changing to being more like, this is an actual thing. This is something I'm actually going to try now. And I started wearing it, making it, wearing it, deciding, right? Like first, okay, what do I actually want to do? I wear it myself. And I told everybody about it, basically. I just mention it. When people say, oh, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm doing good. I just recently finished this shirt. Or I'm wearing my shirt today. I designed this. I know it's random, right? But like, people are bored. People are bored with the typical, how are you? Good. How are you? Good. And we all know that we're all lying, okay? We all know that we're all... So I told everybody about it, mainly people, not every single person, but mainly people who either ask or, you know, maybe they ask more in detail or what's been going on recently. Or people who have a style, they have fashion style, they have a sense of, they're creative, they're artistic, they're photographers, something like that. You know, I just told these people the nature of where I was working, like all of these little things that I thought had little to do with my business led up to become the opportunities, the things that were standing in my way that I couldn't imagine, and they just happened by me going further and further, taking more and more steps towards my goal, which is making money with the things I love to do. And in this process, there was just stuff going on that just led, you know, it's almost hard to say, because I am spiritual, so it's very hard to say there's no divine intervention, there's no purpose, there's no path, you know what I mean? But you don't know this path, and that was my mistake. I was thinking too much. I was thinking too much, I was analyzing too much, and it fed into more negativity, more reasons why it can't work for me. So what I did instead was, you know what, I'm going to embody this now, because I am a designer, I am an artist. I am going to own it. I'm not going to wait until I make money to say I'm an artist, because how can you make money if you don't portray yourself as a professional, whatever you want to do, or dedicated or passionate, right? Take the word professional out if that's too much, but how can people do anything or consider you if you're not even serious? Worst of all, if you're hiding. So all of this overanalyzing, thinking and blah, 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 it became self-sabotage because I took it as a reason to hold back, as a reason to wait, to feel like, oh, there's going to be a better point in the future. That's when I'm going to start. I'm going to have more money. That's when I'm going to start. No, in reality, you only need a few things when you do art. Just a few pictures, just a few outfits, just a few examples of what you do, or starting to actually make content about these things if that's your plan. That's all you need for people to actually perceive that, oh, that there's a certain style, there's a certain whatever makes you unique, right? So that's what I did. I told this woman, and she just happened to have this opportunity that I modeled for her. And in exchange, the next time, she was like, you can show your own designs. You don't have to wear my clothes from my boutique. And then she asked me for another favor. And up to the point where I am in a physical boutique without having to pay rent. So my funds were never an issue. I just had to take the money that I would usually spend on entertainment or shopping to make my own things, right? To pursue my passions, the one that I want to make money with. And I'm gonna, because I invested time and money in it, I'm gonna tell people. And most people are very interested in these things. They love it. They love to hear about it. And if they're not, like, those are not your people. You know what I mean? I could have never, hi sweetie, I could have never imagined having my own fashion brand and showing it on a fashion show, because fashion shows are really expensive. I was struggling to find models as well. I found one girl and I had to ask her mom, and her mom looked good, so it was all good at the end of the day. But I had to do with what I had, you know? I just made a few pieces and that's it. And that's how it started. Maru. You didn't want it to be picked up, right? You just wanted to lay on the floor. Look at those bunny feet. He's around 8 months old. Looks a bit big, but he's actually small. I don't know why he looks so big on camera. I don't like how cameras distort reality. I don't care what anybody says. Look at this cute bean. Alright, I'll leave you, okay? I've cut her everywhere. Anyways, yeah, so I modeled my own things. That was kind of the start. And also I found an opportunity which is unique to my city. So that's like a program where they help start up businesses. But to be very honest with you, I could have done it without. It's more about actually me I had a therapy thing going on over the phone. So you can always think, when you hear my story, other people's stories, you can always think, oh, I don't have this money. Oh, I don't have therapy. I can't go to therapy. Oh, I don't have anybody to support me. I don't have anybody to support me either. And all of the things I did, you don't have to go to a therapy. And that was just talking therapy as well. It wasn't like it was a private thing that I paid for. No, I can't afford these things. It was just by the healthcare system we have now. And it's not extensive. It's only runs for around 3 months, once a week. But it did help me, you know, and you can always find other things. What can be enough is actually just a group of people who maybe do something similar or struggle with similar things online or wherever, and you start socializing within your field, just creatives. Because I had amazing connections with people who do other things like music. And I had amazing talks and every conversations, you know, that I will not forget. And that really contributed also to this whole path I'm walking on. So this woman I modeled for let me model my things, and then more time passes on. I'm helping her with something else, something related to graphic design, because she realized that I do these things as well. So you need to talk about this. You need to tell people. You need to mention these things, right? So because I was so, I would say, charitable, and I didn't ask her for money. I was, you know, respectful and just being myself. She said, I have a boutique. sell your things in my boutique because I lost my job. I lost my job with this other woman that she knows, and that's how we got to know each other. And so she found out that this woman replaced me. Okay, she replaced me, actually. She replaced me. Oh. But anyways, that's another story for another day. Basically, she can't afford me anymore. It is what it is. So this woman doesn't have money either, but she was like, oh, there's a mutual exchange here. Like, you help me with some little things here and there, and I'll give you a spot to sell. You don't have to pay me rent. You don't have to do any of these things. And I just give you the money in cash. That's how it's going. That's how it's going. And I couldn't have imagined this opportunity. Never. And it might not be forever. It might not be, who knows, right? But I made one sale in the shop after 2 days of being there. So, and that can be, this could be you. This could be you with your art. I had, on the same day actually, I had a guy approach me and just showing me his art. And just by me knowing this person and having talked to this person, and like, it was a bit of activism themed. So it's not exactly for me, but it does align with some of my values. So I was interested. I just didn't like the style. But if I think about having what he's doing is basically like one of these pictures, like drawings you hang. It's basically like a heart, and then it has like a message. It's a bit like poetry. So if I ever think about, oh, I wanted to do a nice post for maybe online, social media, or I just want it to be in the background of the shop, or whatever, in the background of my videos, or whatever it is, you know, I would think about it. And if he talks to more people, we'll definitely have it. Or if he maybe updates his craft a little bit. So that's what I'm doing as well now. I couldn't have planned what people actually like, what people actually buy, what content people actually want. I have to keep experimenting and find some type of enjoyment in this whole process, because that's the main thing you're gonna do after you realize what it is you want, what your values are, what you want to do. You have to experiment with connecting with people. That's the main thing. That was my thing that was in my way. I can use my talent and my style to create designs, but I don't know which one's gonna be a favorite. I don't know which one's gonna be one sale a year and which one's gonna be one sale a day. So we have to give ourselves the opportunities to do so. If you hide away and you never start and you just keep thinking and planning, it's never gonna happen. If you blame and be negative about what you could achieve, not gonna happen, you know, because we have at the end of the day, it's not about doing right or wrong. It's about we have limited time in the day, and what we do on a daily basis is our life. So if I am creative on a daily basis, I am a creative person, and this is gonna produce things. And if the things I produce, if I make sure it's actually what people desire in a certain sense or context, that's it, right? I realized, for example, my brand is a little bit more like unique, crazy materials, like snake bones and stuff like that, sustainable materials and shapes that are a little bit unconventional, but still wearable, like the kimono shape, classic kimono shape. It's one of my staple designs in various fabrics and all of these things. So I could go minimalistic because sustainability resonates with minimalism, and I also like sometimes, you know, a monochromatic look, like just black, yeah, you know, like kind of basic. But I realized that people like the jewelry with the snake bones because it's different, you know, it's different. So with the kimono, I could also do a little bit of something different. I mean, kimono is already different, but I am experimenting with both, like having more subtle colors with kimono And also now I'm gonna try more crazy colors, because this shop, this boutique, and that's also the spot you're selling, the spot on the internet, the spot in your social media, the spot in a physical shop. What do people want? What do people actually buy? And I realized that it's more like statement pieces, different pieces. And that's also something that people, because they can't find it anywhere else, it has more value. So that actually makes a good income, because my problem was that when I do something too basic or something you can find somewhere else, I am competing with corporations. It's nothing unique anymore. So why would people spend twice as much just because you made it? They don't care if you made it with your hands. They don't care. Like, most people are like that, So you're not going to make a lot of sales if that's what you're doing. But if what you're doing is handmade and special, has a unique aesthetic or something that just people value and like, that's it. It doesn't have to be overthinking. That's the problem. I was sitting too many years just thinking. And at the end of the day, I had to socialize. And I know people don't like that, but it doesn't have to be like a crazy event that you have to go to. It can be like what I did in my daily life. I was just owning it more. I was representing it more, what I like, who I am, my values. Showing that I'm creative by having my own creations on, displaying it like a living piece of art, And people will notice. The right people will notice. When you ask them, because they are creative, you tell them what you do and you have an immediate connection. That is just so much more fulfilling than to feel like you're the odd one out. Because you're in your friend group or in your whatever group you are in, you are the odd one out. You are the one creative person. It's not that the majority of people are creative or different. We are a minority, but we should be a proud minority. We have to show ourselves more. Because besides therapy and all of these things, I was overwhelmed with information, with masterclasses, with workshops. And I attended many of them just to find out, I know already a lot of things. The only reason why it's not working is because I was sitting around not taking action. I was sitting around not believing in myself. So everything was dragging, taking so long. Being also the outcome, the artistic outcome is so different if you focus on what other people want. Oh, I can't begin to tell you what a trap that is. The trap of mediocre, the trap of corporate, and I'm not gonna fall into this trap. I might make ads where I address certain people that I feel like, hey, I can make this for you. I think you would find this valuable. That's it, end of the day. I'm not gonna be the worst advice I got was copy a big corporation. And I was a youth development worker who deals with startup businesses, and he told me that. Because he doesn't specialize in content, and he thinks, well, something is true and tested, you just copy that. But you can't just copy a big brand. You maybe copy the principle of the content, like, oh, there's a twist, oh, there's a story, oh, there's like amazing visuals. But that also comes with, that's already an established brand. Because for me, I am a visual person, so I immediately went for the visual part. But that doesn't work if you don't have the budget, if you don't have the whole team behind pushing whatever you're doing, because that is a big reason why these things work, is because they have a budget. And because it looks professional, it looks aesthetically pleasing enough, or it captures people enough, it works. Because they can put it into the eyes of millions of people. So that's how it works for them. But that's not us. That's not us, right? But these little things would be nothing for a corporation. Selling selling 10 of your items in a shop. So that's a different world that we shouldn't even think about, right? Well, that's the amazing thing about being a small creator or startup, or like somebody like you're just starting, is that every little thing is a massive milestone. I can now say within the last year, no, actually in this year, and then a few months before, but that doesn't count. Let's say just in this year, actually, I had my first fashion show. I have a few sales already. I have my... Did I forget? Oh, I had my first sale in the shop. And I have my things in a shop. I mean, what is that? What is going on? I couldn't have never thought that would be me. I thought it would be always other people. I'm to this and that, you know? That's just what I thought. And artists have to be starving. But that's all. That's all I did, honestly. And okay, maybe you want to do exactly what I want to do. You don't feel comfortable modeling yourself. Maybe you have siblings, maybe you have other people. Or maybe you can give somebody like £50 or $50, whatever, to help you. And maybe this person is going to become a friend. Who knows? I just got interrupted. Yeah, you know, just, again, I used to be somebody who had a real disdain for people, to be very honest with you. Because of my background, my story, being ostracized, being outcasted from society, you know, having to get over that was a lot for me. I also grew up with a very cynical person, so that didn't help. But now I really, I came from a spot where I felt like most things are negative and I'm very depressed, to I'm still depressed, but I'm blissfully depressed now. And there are lots of people that are just, this lady just right now, she just was checking for the internet or something. Like, she would switch me if I wasn't already with them. But she was just like, people are just, sometimes they're just really genuinely friendly, and you can empathize more with people. Like, you're like, this is a person like me. They also have the insecurities like me. They also have their dreams like me. They also went through shit like me. Like, we are all unique, but we're also connected. We're also all special in our own way, and we can always connect with each other because that's what we need in this world, right? So that's what I want to do. I want to encourage more people who are like me, who went through similar things, to give you the proof that it is possible. I'm not rich, I'm not popular yet, okay? But something will happen in the next 5 years, 10 years. Like, come on, you can't tell me that it's just gonna drop and go nowhere. Nah, I'm too cool for that. I'm too, I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, if you like this, if you're interested in just sticking around because you have your own things that you want to fulfill, your own dreams you need to pursue, just see me as your friendly alien. Thank you for your time. Like the video, subscribe if you care, and see you again soon. Bye.